What's up, comic book fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast of the Multiverse Musings Podcast Network. Here with a look at the Spin Master 12-inch figure of The Rock as Black Adam. We're not that far away from the premiere of Black Adam, and the merchandise is already hitting the shelves. I saw this figure, and I'm very impressed by it, especially for the price point. So let's go ahead and get a look at the package details now. On the bottom, we get product information. On each side, we get partial windows where you can see the figure. And on the top, we get a view of the most electrifying bald head in the world. On the back top, we get product shots of the other figures available in this wave, and of course we get a larger shot of Black Adam. One small criticism is that the face looks a little out of focus, and I know that's not a big deal, as most people who buy this figure will probably be taking it out, but nonetheless, I thought I would point that out. I am excited, though, about the fact that we're going to get 5 figures from the movie done by Spin Master. On the front, it says Black Adam. We get a movie promotional photo of The Rock, and it says First Edition. And here we see Black Adam through the front window. A very imposing figure, and I think that this meshes well with the no-frills design of Spin Master. There's not a lot of wasted material, and I do appreciate that. But all that being said, now I think it's time to bust this figure out of the package and see what's inside. Here is the figure free of the outer packaging, but still bound to the inner plastic. And here we see Black Adam out of the package and ready to rumble. Spin Master really stepped up their game with this figure. There is so much to like here, although I do have a couple of small criticisms. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the loose details now. Let's start by looking at the boots here, and there's an exquisite amount of detail on these. As you can see, this metallic gold paint, it really reflects the light well. And there's just so much sculpting on these. I'm very impressed. Now, I think the boots might be just a shade lighter than they should be for movie accuracy, but with all of this magnificent sculpting here, there's really no room to complain. This is really fine work. Here's a close-up of the hips and the quadriceps, and as you can see, there's just a magnificent amount of detail here. In the movie, Black Adam actually has Egyptian hieroglyphics on his costume, and you can see that reflected here. That's really impressive. And this attention to detail goes all the way around to the back. You can see it back here in the hamstring area. You can see what looks like seams on the costume. So we get a single jointed knee. You can get the lower leg to go up about that far, so perhaps that could be slightly better. But I really like the fact that the hinge is covered here. That makes the figure look more realistic. And I also like the gold paint and the detail on these crisscrossing belts. That's just a superb level of detail there. So yes, excellent work by Spin Master on this area. In terms of hip articulation, you can get him to kick forward this far. You can also get him to kick out to the side considerably. So I really appreciate that. You can see you can get him into like a split position almost. And he can step back as well. I've actually seen pricier collector-centric lines that don't have this level of articulation. Here's a look at the torso, and as you can see, the hieroglyphics continue onto this portion of the costume. I will say that I think overall the body mold's a little bit too small. Rock is just such a massive guy that I think this is not quite as big as it should be. I will say that this symbol looks magnificent. The gold paint looks really good here, and it's actually sculpted on. It's not a sticker, so I really appreciate that. And also the area here, the very top of the costume near the collarbone, this has actually been sculpted on. It's not just a differentiation in paint, so I really appreciate that as well. There's plenty of detail here on the arms. You see the good paint application there on the forearm, as well as the detail here on the upper arm. You can see the good definition on the deltoid, the biceps, the triceps, and these are all the appropriate size for Black Adam. As far as articulation goes, there's movement at the wrist. There's a single jointed elbow. It only goes up that far. However, you can get it to swivel back and forth, so I do appreciate that. The shoulder joint allows you to extend his arm up and out that far. There is 360 degrees of rotation, and you can extend his arms out and back this far. So if you want to do this power pose, you can certainly do that with this figure. If you've seen my other reviews where I talk about Spin Master capes, you know that I've spoken in the past about how some of them look kind of cheap and gauzy. That's not the case here. They used a higher quality material. I don't think this material will wrinkle, and you can see the upgrade just by the way that it hangs. There are a lot of positives about this head sculpt, but there is one minor issue that I'd like to talk about first. The plastic is very glossy, and it makes him look really sweaty, like the way The Rock would look if he just went half an hour at WrestleMania. But the head sculpt fits well onto the neck. You can see how well the neck muscles have been sculpted. There's the back of the head. There's some wrinkles sculpted into the base of the skull there. And I think that they got the nose right. The mouth looks pretty good. I do appreciate the eyebrow, of course. So overall, I do think that this was a solid effort by Spin Master. In terms of articulation, you can get the head to move easily side to side. There's minimal movement up and down, and there's really no tilting. One other thing that I'd like to mention is that this figure feels lighter to me than other Spin Master figures that I have held. Now, that may be the way that Spin Master was able to include a greater amount of detail, was to use a thinner type of plastic, and I don't know how that will affect durability down the line. But I thought I needed to point that out for a thorough review. I certainly hope you have enjoyed this review. If so, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend to do the same. Stay tuned at the end of the video for some articulation shots, and also remember to catch me on the Multiverse Musings vidcast, available right here on YouTube. And I'll be back to the internet with more comic book related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.